Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Building a Nation with Polonia Warszawa. Today, we're on the page of Juan Hernandez, because you guys said you wanted to see him, so here we are. Started his career at Deportivo Pereira before moving to Watford. We'll just have a look. He's 32 years old. He's got 31 caps for, I assume, Colombia. Is that Colombia? Or I think it's Colombia. Let's see how his career kind of went. So, moved to Watford. I'm guessing, I don't know, it doesn't have a transfer fee here. Did a couple of loan spells, went to Huesca for a bit, back to Watford, played in the Premier League for quite a while before moving for £19 million to Huddersfield, presumably based on the fact that Watford were relegated. Went on loan to Montpellier for £2.8 million, back to Huddersfield. He's had a pretty solid Premier League career, to be honest, so fair play to the lad. Now, there might be a youth intake in this episode, I'm not sure, because we're obviously playing a league game right now, and then we've got a lovely game against Southampton, which is going to be massively important, because we need to do some business today. I think we need to at least get to the quarterfinals. We can't afford to go out to Southampton today, really, not as the defending champions. Come on. But first, off-camera games. Started off at home to Wojciech Szczesny's Wisła Płock, who are not having a good year and look like he might well take them down. Someone compared him to the Sam Allardyce of Polish football. Goals from Fopossi, Pereira, Firmino, an own goal, and Firmino missed another penalty. He's not looking so great on that one, though, but Fopossi is really stepping up his game. Great win. Then a cushy 2-0 victory in the Cup over Swansk. A goal from Treverio and one for Alberto Freitas, giving us a 2-0 victory. Nice to see. We then conceded 2 goals in the league for the first time this season, which is quite impressive. And of course it came against Katowice. We still beat them though, which is the main thing. Valvela, Pereira, Grandi with a penalty, and Petr Chabal with the goals. But we were, as far as I can tell here, 2-2 going into the final stages. But Chabal and Grandi bailing us out really. Probably deserved it still on the night. But hey, Katowice run us close. And then a 5-0 trashing of Rakov in the final one. A goal from Fopossi, Pereira, 2 for Grandi late on and 1 for Carroll. All in the second half of this game. Destroyed them. Sorry if you hear a slight squeaking sound in the background occasionally. My neighbour doesn't know how to use a hoover properly and it keeps squeaking. It sounds like there's an episode of Sooty going on outside. And all that leaves us 13 points clear in the top of the league. Lech Poznan having a really good season as well, as we already know. We've got a plus 69 goal difference. We could be on for a record this year. Katowice are still right in there. Tied on points with Swansk though and Lechia. They have had a really good run, but those teams are really keeping up. The top 5 are basically broken away. Katowice do have a game in hand though, so I still think they're going to be very, very good for a top 5. I hope they come third though. Firmino up there for goals scored. Chabal, interestingly, up there for average rating. For Fopossi and Olivier in there. Olivier with man of the match awards. All is going well in the league, which is what we're doing today. Got ourselves a lovely game against Piast away from home as Katowice are going away to Rakov, so we'll see if they can come up with something. Patrick Schick is actually managing Piast, so that's kind of cool. Okay, so we're not, we are going to play this system, why not? But we want to rotate the team quite a fair bit. Waterberg and Lisik still, unfortunately, not looking great here. Just going to go full rotation, why the hell not? Firmino will start up top though. Viggy on the left, Carroll, Restrepo, Saavedra, Garcia, although I do want to start Itzhak, despite him being a little bit worse for wear. Olivier, the Lama, Panda, Rosa, and Piscula. On the bench, I don't think the bench is that important for this game, really. Iglesias, Veras, Bonavento, Carballo, Silva, Henningsen, and Saavedra. Some might say this is a very defensive-minded system. We're going to struggle to break them down, I would reckon. Yeah, they actually have gone with that system. There's a few kind of older players. Zero, actually, in the team. I very nearly signed him in the early stages of this save, I think. Right then, so, big news. All of the Dutch and Portuguese teams have gone out of the Europa League. Now, they did have tough draws, but I thought they might get through. Sporting particularly, but they lost on aggregate to Dortmund, so they got a tough draw. Both Feyenoord and PSV, I think it was the other one, have gone out of the Europa League too, which is very nice. In addition to that, Ajax did go out very narrowly in the Champions League to Inter. So we're basically the only one of those nations with any teams left in Europe so far. And I believe I think if we get through this round, we'll get 6th spot. But we still actually have to get through against Southampton. But if we do get through, I'm pretty certain we'll be guaranteed 6th spot for next season and an extra Champions League spot and all kinds of goodies that go with it, including the increased player values, which are very important for us, I'd have to say. Itzhak, long ranger perhaps? Goes for Restrepo. Oh, really nice goal. Diego Restrepo with only his 3rd goal of the season, but he's been such a useful utility player. Itzhak, I was having a look at some of his stats before this match in my main squad view, and he has got a lot of key passes when he plays, like an awful lot, averaging 2 per game, and getting more assists than you can imagine. Really difficult finish from Restrepo, but Itzhak really is starting to develop into one hell of a young player, as we thought he might. Also, you might remember in the last episode that I think it was, hang on. Yeah, Leipzig lost 4-0 to Lyon. They won the second leg 5-0 and are through to the next round. Probably one of the greatest comebacks of all time in the Champions League. Oh, what a ball! Oh, what a bloody goal! Carroll with his 8th of the season, but what a piece of play that was. That was extremely nice counter-attacking football. 2-0 up here away at Piast, who are actually doing all right this year. But look at this. Lovely ball out. Finds Olivier running down the wing here, but takes it inside here. And this is an insanely good ball. Right through the middle. Carroll takes one touch and then finishes it into the bottom corner. What a finish from Carroll. It's 2-0 to us, but the goals we scored today have been great. Garcia. He might fancy one. Oh, he does. And there it is. It's 3-0. Jacobo Garcia, only his 3rd goal of the season. He doesn't play that much, but he's certainly not got as many goals. And again, Ishak, yet another assist. He is turning in, I think in the next season, he could start to hold down a first team spot on the regular. He's just so good at dropping off the ball to people in good areas. Lovely finish from Garcia. 3-0 up here, cruising. Let us have more of that in the second half. They've tried to defend very, very deep, and it just hasn't worked against us at all today. We've been excellent. And Ishak has completely controlled that game from the midfield. Headed away. Restrepo. Back for Ursa. You know he's got a good cross in him. Go on to buy. Ooh, goes short for Panda. He's going to get it back anyway, though, you'd feel. But rather him take the cross on than Panda. Unless Ishak fancies a shot. He might. Ooh, that's going to be outside the box. We know it. A penalty? Whoa! But to be fair, it didn't actually say it should have been on the line. So I guess Ishak's... No, who's taking it? Firmino. He's missed a lot of penalties this season. And he's not missed that one. It's 4-0 up. Firmino does well. Lovely piece of work from Ishak, though, to win the penalty. 4-0 victory so far. Firmino, despite not starting that many games, has got 14 goals this season. That is a really, really good return for a secondary striker. I think he does really well. Carroll. Oh, what a strike. Restrepo! Oh, my goodness me. Restrepo on the rebound grabs his 4th of the year. Wow. That's an insane... The initial strike from Garcia was just so... not expected to go in, but he's got them in his game. Carroll just rolls it back to him and he thinks, you know what, let's have a go. It's an insane effort. Goalkeeper does well to keep that out. Restrepo's on the rebound. It's 5-0 and he's grabbed his 2nd goal of the... doubled his tally for the year. Basically nothing has happened since we consolidated with some substitutes, as is often the way in these games. Zvigawa, edge of the box for Ishak. Go on, son. You maybe fancy one? No. Garcia. Into Firmino. Nice work out wide for Zviggy. Can there be one more sting in the tails? Zvigawa's ball. Firmino's header. No. And that's your full time. 5-0 victory away at Piast. We've really got a lot more goals in our game this season. I think we're going to break our goal scoring record by miles. We're really smashing teams a lot more this year. And that's nice to see, I suppose. Can't remember why, but why do you keep the number 12 clear? It was something that was suggested to me during my last save about the fans being the 12th man, so we keep the number 12 clear. But apparently that actually came from Polonia Warszawa. So it's a bit of a coincidence that we ended up doing a save. So I made sure there was even more reason to actually keep hold of that sort of ideal. Managing to replace the Poland manager with yourself. A few of you suggested this. I don't really like the idea of doing that because I'm messing with the natural scheme of things. But if you guys would like me to, what I could do, the only thing I could think of doing in that situation would be to get another manager in, appoint them as Poland manager and then resign, and then I would probably get offered the job anyway, but I still don't really like the idea of doing that either. But let me know what you think. It's not something I particularly want to do, but if all of you want me to do it, then I will. Right, back in a minute for the Southampton game. Oh god. Right guys, we're back. Not a lot's really happened, although it did take a bloody long time for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's because I leave it recording sometimes in between the slightly shorter ones, and it means that it slows the game down. Bit annoying. Tobias Rosa has got a new contract now. About time, really. He's not got international cap yet, so we're able to keep the wages down, sort of, but I feel like he deserved it. There's a lot on the line here, particularly as we're missing Lisic and Waterberg, and I think that's going to be a real problem for us. I think without those two on that left-hand side, we really are missing some quality. If we can get through, then they'll be back. But they're not through. I think a butterfly's just flown into the room and got trapped in the window. Yes, he has. Brilliant. Well done, mate. As you can see, the other teams through. PSG are through. Real Madrid are through. Inter come through against Ajax. Only just. Leipzig obviously come through amazingly. Barcelona looks set to go through. Chelsea are through. And as are Milan with a 6-3 victory over Manchester City. They're in our group and we were better than them. So that's interesting. I'm concerned about this problem here. It was fine in the league, but I don't know what we're going to do against a really decent team. So, obviously we want to go back to this approach, and we'll move over to this. I guess this is really the best we can ask. No. I want Gorosito up there, and I want Orozco in the midfield. Pereira, Firmino, Gorosito, Fopossi, Orozco, Silva, Albarracin, Freitas, Falvela, Chabal, and Iglesias. On the bench, who do we fancy? I'd like to think we can just win this comfortably, but then the first leg is concerning me. I might not have Grandi on the bench. I might have Olivier on there as well. No, not instead of the... Oh, no, it worked. Okay, so, yeah, Olivier, the Llama, Treverio, Ishak, Rosa, Carroll, and Restrepo. I assume they're going to play a similar system to last time. I think that's the same system. So hopefully, because they are looking pretty fresh, we can come up with something. But now we do always have that other idea in the back pocket if we do need to defend, i.e. pushing Chabal back. And maybe that's not such a bad idea, given that Dele Alli was pretty dangerous in that first leg. But we can cross that bridge if it ever should arise. I know that we should... I feel like we definitely should be beating Southampton, but I think that might just be down to the fact that I'm judging them based off of Southampton in real life rather than in-game Southampton. And I've got to be careful with that. They came third in the Premier League, and they got out of their Champions League group. There's certainly no pushover. Oh, Pereira's done really well, but he's got no support for Posse. Now he could have some support. Bossi's just driving straight through people like they're not even there. Firmino! Oh, what a lovely finish from Firmino. His 15th goal of the season. That is a really, really top quality piece of football. Come on. That is a really good start to the game. Pereira does so well here, but it's what Foppossi does. Getting it out wide and then just driving through people like they're not even there. He has the presence to mind to pick a lovely ball for Firmino, and that is a textbook striker's finish. And I guess that's one of the benefits of having a striker at left wing, but there's a lot of downsides too. But the point is we've got the early lead. We'll see how the game pans out, and then I'll make a decision at like maybe half time. Wow, this first half, wow, the possession has really swung back the other way. Now that we've got the early lead, we've got the goal and the possession is all ours. They've only had 3 shots and they've all been from range. This is very similar to that first game, except we've not been anywhere near as good from an attacking perspective as we were in that first leg. But things are still heavily in the balance. I'm still tempted to maybe move to that other approach for the second half. Remember me saying that Barcelona were almost through? Bayern have got other ideas. They're doing a Leipzig. That is insanity. They're 5-4 up now. We can still work with this. I still personally feel like moving over to this to get Chabal sitting a little bit deeper, particularly as we've got something to hang on to now, might not be the worst result in the world. We need a second half where, the thing is, we can kind of play on the break a bit more now that we've got the lead. And they're not offering much. We're sitting quite deep. Not even that deep. We're sitting nicely and mainly limiting them to long shots, but that doesn't mean we can get complacent here. This lead is still very finely balanced. A single goal for them completely changes this entire match. A second goal, though, would make me feel much more confident. If we could find a second goal, it would be... But then again, we've thrown away 2 goal leads before. In fact, this season, Driver. Again, nobody's coming out to close him down. Naughty's going to get the shot away, you'd feel. Well blocked. If anything, they've grown in confidence in the second half. I'm not super convinced with this in the second half or in this game in general, to be honest. Oh, God, it's... Okay. That was the goalkeeper. What is it with this round and Flappy Birds? I swear to God, that's the one time we genuinely get this kind of stuff against us. Foppossi's throw and the goalkeeper just... he just runs underneath it. Pereira runs onto the loose ball and it's 2-0. That is a gift from God. That is basically the game making up for the first leg. It has to be. Problem is, though, if they were to get 2 goals from here, then they would go through. So there is that. Hopefully we don't concede a goal straight away. That's one of our problems is we get into a good position, then we'll concede an immediate goal to... And there it is! The moment we score a goal, it always seems like we're very likely to go and concede one immediately at the other end. We've defended so well for the most part in this game. It's a good clearance here, but this is just poor. Player comes across, Naughty's strike, and I don't know what he's doing in that position, but it's now 2-1, and suddenly it's back on the line again. I'm a bit concerned now that they've got one back. We're in a good position still, but this tie has certainly not been anywhere near as straightforward as you might have imagined it could have been. But again, it's probably just because I'm looking at it and going, well, it's only Southampton. Or we've won it back off them again, Orozco. That's a really good ball into the channel for Pereira. He's got to find men at the back post. He has to. Gorosito. Firmino. Oh, yes. Brilliant finish from Firmino. It's 3-1 on the night. His 16th goal of the season. Easily one of the best pieces of business we've done in this save was bringing him on a free transfer. He's up there with the Campagnaro deal. This is not an easy finish as well for him. To take a touch there and drill that near post to get that finish over the line. 3-1 does make it a little bit more comfortable now. Thank God for that. Did well to get back and cover that, actually. Vasilevsky. Oh, Silva. Pereira does it well. Oh, what about that for a touch? Men surging forward. Can he find one of them? He's got to. Carroll! It's 4-1. It's Carroll's 9th goal of the season. I love him so much. I can understand why the Polish national team manager adores this guy. What a touch this is from Pereira, by the way. This one here, just to completely outskin his opponent, and after that he's gone. Carroll is making so much ground up here. Dinks it across. Carroll, I think that comes off his shoulder or something. Doesn't matter. 9th of the year, 4-1, and we're surely heading through now. What a performance in the end. And this looks like it's going to do it. It's going to be a 5-2 on aggregate. Was it? Yeah, 5-2, which is actually still pretty comprehensive. But for a while, it was looking very, very touch and go. Really strong performance, though, from Firmino and Pereira. Just really, really good to get that one through. Pleased for that. Let's see if that does affect the coefficients. I thought we'd do the draw first, then have a look at the coefficients. So, teams we can play. Chelsea, Inter, PSG, Leipzig, Bayern, Milan, and Real Madrid. The fact that Bayern actually came back against Barca is insane. Let's do the draw. I don't really care who we get at this point. We've just got to play whoever. Go on. Give us someone new, though. It'd be nice to play a different team. Chelsea. Okay, we've never played Chelsea before, I don't think. So at least it's going to be something fresh. Another English team, though, is a bit concerning. But still, we're going to do our best in the quarterfinals against Chelsea. Right, let's quickly check the coefficients. But what's really important is this one. So Poland now up to 7.7. You can see that the Dutch had a decent year, but yes! Okay, there we go. So this, at the moment, with both of their teams being, all of their teams now, as far as I can tell, are out of Europe, which means we're just gaining on them now, and I think that means we've got into 6th spot. Come on! The gap to France is surprisingly not as... Oh, no, wait, yeah, no, sorry. The gap to Italy is a long, long way off, and that's where I just think that that might be completely insurmountable without But we'll see what happens with this whole save, because it's obviously going to be about whether you guys are still watching and stuff. But it's going to be very interesting, though, with an extra European spot, because as far as I'm concerned, that is us guaranteed that spot coming up next season, coming up next year. So that's very, very interesting. The fact that we've got into 6, and that's going to seriously change the values of our players too, and might change the rep in a very, very positive light. So next episode is going to be a double header of matches against Chelsea. I mean, what more do you want? It's going to be fun. I still think we can go further, because let's face it, we've really, really done well this year. Of the games that we've lost, we've actually only lost 1 match in all competitions this year, and that was at home to Lech Poznan, of all people. We're actually unbeaten in Europe this season. Insanity. Right, so next episode, home and away against Chelsea. Home leg first, though, which is a new one. Oh, not really a new one. It's a bit unusual for us lately. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this, and I hope you have, drop a like on the video. Youth and Take will definitely be in the next episode, which makes that one even more important. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.